They're going to have to slap another paint job on that thing, gold medal around his neck.
Why don't I just lay down and all of our fans, they can join me. They can lay right next to it, and you can pee all over it. What are you talking about? It's the beginning of the end. Did you get loopy? And everybody said, look, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Zach's got to scale it back about 25%. Folks, I'm trying to scale it back about 25%.
What are you talking about? Don't you say Bormet. Don't you say Bormet.
Did I already?
No. Okay.
Because I know better now. There's rumors out there about this David Take or Kyle Dake coming. I'm gonna say on the surface, everyone says great hire, right? Great hire. That is where I would draw the line and say, no, David Taylor, you cannot bring Kyle Dake in. Regarding the Valencia match, quote unquote, most people are ignorant and biased. Whoa, dude. So what? Ignorant?
What? No, well, they don't. Ignorant means you do not know yet.
Yeah. What?
Kale, Nelly, the old days, or David. Nelly's gonna do his country favorites.
A little bit's driving wild, a little bit's misbehaving, a little bit's driving crazy, driving crazy.
Now, which one you want to go see? You want the real deal Nelly, right?
All right.
What?
Okay, are you ready, dude? Let's go.
I'm
Let's
ready.
Get the show on the road. All right, folks, welcome back to BEG Wrestling. We are here, baby. We have a lot to talk about. I want to get right into it, but first, we have to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I have to say, personally, I'm a little biased, but mine is a little bit better than the rest. Thank
time
you,
out.
all of the mothers out there.
My mom. Actually, that's a picture of my mom and dad, which, happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy
Love
Mother's
you.
Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes, to all the mothers out there. And, we're recording on Sunday, so that's why we're wishing it today. But and that goes for your mom and all the moms out there, your sister, all of them. Oh, the little sweeties here.
There you go. Especially to all the moms. Especially my mom. I mean, you got to be kidding me, dude. Dealing with everything she had to deal with. Me and you growing up.
Yeah.
You remember we used to be like biggest enemies when I was in high school. You remember those days, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, and before we go into our comment of the week, folks, I just want to remind everyone, like and subscribe, because the facts, 15% of our viewers are subscribed.
Whoa.
15%. That's a low number, folks. All we're asking is just to click the button. Click subscribe. Click. We're not asking you to pay any money. I mean, that'd be one thing, but come on.
You've been pushing my buttons for years.
And you've been pushing a lot of other people's buttons. So, but folks, let's go into a comment of the week. We actually have two this week. So let me first start with Jamie Nelson 7735. Very uninformed. Period. Now.
No, wait. Was he referring to?
He or she, I'm not sure, the Friday live show, the first one, which we were pretty uninformed because that was before the David Taylor news had broken. So we were all speculating at that point. However, I said in response, Jamie, well, help us out. Help us out.
Bam.
Yeah.
Bam.
Problem solved. I mean, we're
problem
solved. Insiders.
Yes.
We're getting insiders now, baby.
Yes.
I mean, you saw the last Friday live show. We had we're out in Illinois. So
well, we don't claim to be the most knowledgeable show out there. I mean,
we are the opinion show. That's
now we're going to draw from a group to help us, right?
Now, yes. Now, with that being said, are we not on the trail to being much more informed? Absolutely, folks. And we're doing that with your help. And we're slowly getting there, man. We started with Cornell Kevin, which actually kind of leads me to my second comment of the week. Steven Starsky, which he says, just wanted to say how much I love hearing Cornell Kevin as a third voice to this show. He really brings a great perspective and is a fantastic addition to this show.
Oh, I completely forgot about Cornell Kevin. He's actually one of the most knowledgeable wrestling fans I've met. So, yes, we have knowledge galore because of Cornell Kevin.
I agree.
Let's go, Kev.
I agree. A great addition to the show. And thank you, Jamie Nelson and Steven Starsky, for your comments. Comments of the week, folks. We appreciate it. Let's dive right into it, baby, because America, we're representing 6 now, baby.
Yes.
Spencer Lee and Zain getting the jobs done. In way different fashions.
Yes.
But all right, come on, man. Let's wrap it up. What are your initial thoughts here?
Okay, first off, I got a little bone to pick before we get into Zain and Spencer. Okay? All right. The whole David Teller thing goes down, and I seen you put out there on all of social media. Beginning of the end for Penn State? Now, whoa, what? Do you know how them words? It was like, okay, my heart is bleeding because our David Teller just left us, took 2 of our guys too with him, and so my blood's flowing. And you come up with a knife. Why don't I just lay down and all of our fans, they can join me. They can lay right next to it, and you can pee all over us. What are you talking about? It's the beginning of the end. Did you get loopy?
Well, okay, I'll say this. I have one rule.
Oh, boy.
I'm an honesty broker. My only rule is I'm just going to be as honest as possible.
Oh, please.
That's my only rule for the show.
Oh, please.
Okay? And I know you follow that rule. You're just a little delusional.
Now, wait. Let me just say this. Okay, I've talked before about, well, that's how Penn State, you're so loaded, you're so deep. Let's have Altoona. Let's make them D1. Altoona, Penn State could be Penn State's farm team. Well, they outdid me. We now have Okie State as our farm team. Bam! We
shots fired. You better get used to it, David Taylor.
We got our farm team. Okay, nice job, Kale. You were thinking there. And, you know, the thing is you say, oh, come on, David Teller. You're not giving David Teller enough credit. No, I know. David Teller is the real deal. All that stuff. But, okay, let's compare it to this. Kale, Nelly, the old days, or David, Nelly's going to do his country favorites.
A little bit's driving wild, a little bit's misbehaving, a little bit's driving crazy, driving crazy.
Now, which one you want to go see? You want the real deal Nelly, right?
All right.
What?
I hope you didn't think long about that, because that is what I'm having trouble connecting those dots.
What?
I got some deep.
I know
Taylor
he's your,
thoughts. I've been thinking
big
about
old fan. That look at Zach. Did you kiss him right then? By the way,
what, Nelly? No. Oh yeah, I met Nelly. Yeah.
Oh, you don't even. Oh no,
Yeah.
I know you're a big Nelly fan. He's a country guy now, and do you like his country stuff?
He's also not popular now. Kind of like us. So we have a lot in common.
David Teller's going to take what Kale has made the secret sauce, and
I got thoughts. Listen, I have actually some deep thoughts that I have prepared for that, and I want to talk about that, but folks,
okay,
let's hold off on that because, yeah, oh my goodness, dude, these Penn State fans are going off the rails. Let's keep them on track, folks, because we got to talk about Spencer Lee, dude, and Zain Rutherford out there doing their job in 2 way different fashions. Okay, Spencer Lee goes out and I guess his closest match was the 10-9 win over Wanhao Zhao, which he was initially down 6-1. He gets that 4-point wake-up call. Now, we're talking 3 a.m. here, Eastern time. It's earlier. You know they're probably still on American time over there, right? I mean, I have a lot of things to talk about, but he ekes that out, hangs on to win 10-9, and then goes on, and Spencer Lee's in the Olympics representing America, folks. Freedom! Could you not be more excited? Let's get your initial thoughts.
He looks like a man on a mission, Spencer. He just has that look about him.
Like I predicted, by the way, I said 100% chance. And was there ever a doubt in your mind?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I've thought between the injuries and the whole night, he just kind of looked like he was carrying the weight of the world. He looked slower, less explosive, a lot of things. And it just really turned things around. And by the way, you talk about something pretty cool, the old Happy Mother's Day. You know, that we have this image, and that was cool, seeing Spencer hugging his mom. But what he looks like is a focused man on a mission. And I don't know, I would have honestly said, no, I think if Spencer wrestles his best, he might be able to medal. Whoa, not with the gold. I don't know what to say right now. I think he might have a chance at gold. I really, really do. Kind of like with Zain. You say, well, Zain can't win gold. He just lost to one of the guys. Look, that match was very close. It was 2-2. Zain was winning with less than a minute to go. And I thought Zayn's mistake was to go into defend mode. I thought you got to stay attacking because this guy's really good and you know this guy's going to bring it in this last minute. So beat him to the punch was what I was thinking. But sure enough, he gets in deep. Zain tried a chest wrap, didn't work. And I mean, it all worked out. But back to Spencer, yeah, this is one of them stories you could smell coming. That this was going to be a sweet little revenge tour, you know, not revenge, justification. That
storybook.
Yeah, that's it. Storybook. This is going to be a storybook, and so far, I mean, it just feels so good to have all 6, and
that does feel good.
That does feel good, no doubt.
But listen. First of all, I'll say, folks, we appreciate all your feedback. One of those feedbacks, Zach's got to scale it back about 25%. Folks, I'm trying to scale it back about 25%.
What are you talking about? Scale it back.
Scale it back.
Where's he scales? I
don't like.
Scale it back 20.
I agree. Maybe if I scale it back, so I'm trying to start writing notes instead of just talking in front of you.
That brings me to a good subject. You're the Friday show. I kind of enjoyed your show Friday. And I'll tell you,
we'll get into that, but let's before we bounce to that topic, I gotta finish because you mentioned the storylines here, and it was storybook for Spencer.
Yes.
And Zayn's path, also remarkable.
Yes.
I have to say this, man. Just
what do you go like 6-1?
Different stories of attrition, because Spencer's story of attrition was much longer term. Years, over the course of years, and you saw the pressure mount on him. You saw him break through that. I mean, I could not be happier for Spencer and his family. They earned this. They deserve this. We don't like using the word deserve here on BEG Wrestling, but they deserve this. And then Zayn's story of attrition, which, okay, on that Timur Ochur.
Oh, you can have fun trying to.
Okay. First of all, my only comment from that match is, okay, that first takedown on Zayn. What? Wow.
I know, because it looked like Zayn just didn't. I thought it was locked and loaded, done, at least for the 1 point out. But as it turned out, that guy had Zayn's hand. Zayn never had a full grip there. And at first, I said to your mom, I said, I think Zayn just left go of his grip for a half second and blew it. That really, he never had the grip the whole way. And that guy obviously is very, very good.
He's a real deal. And folks, we're going to dive more into exactly his stats and who he is, because Kevin kind of briefed us on. It was shocking that he was even in this tournament, given his past resume.
Yeah.
And his country has the same type of qualifier event that America does, and he happened to run into someone with just a different style that doesn't match up well, and he ended up losing.
That dude's owned USA.
He should not have been in that tournament
for quite some time now. All of them. Yanni, Zayn, Nick, all of them. He's owned them.
The other thing I have to say about Zayn, okay, dude, this head injury, this head cut is a serious problem, dude.
Well, it's no longer. No longer.
It was hopefully he lets it heal, because I'll tell you this, man. I wake up with a kink in my neck. Mm-hmm. I got problems. Let's not act like, okay, first of all, does it actually hurt physically? That's one thing. We don't even think about that. But the one thing we should be thinking about is, dude, this dude has like a blanket wrapped around his head. Like the heat is expressed out of your head or released out of your head.
Yeah.
He's wrapped in a blanket, dude. You know how uncomfortable, how like debilitating that probably, I would think, likely has to be to him.
It's more than one cut.
His eyes. Blood is leaking.
It's not.
Dude,
It's
like,
he has a major cut here, and then he's got a major cut
on
here.
the top of his head, too.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and the top, but it's the one on the eye where, dude, he definitely doesn't have 100% vision. He's wrapped up, so his head's got to be overheating. Oh, not to mention he's trying to beat the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, that had to be debilitating. Now, on the other end of the spectrum there, I want to say, a little beneficial of the frequent bleeding time breaks, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. Is that beneficial? Maybe a wash.
No, I mean, who knows? You don't know. He had to lose all that weight and everything, but I don't know. I'm sure if you asked him, he doesn't want any breaks. He wants to keep going. But all of it was just a big relief. Whew, thank goodness. Now, the next time around, can we get this done at Pan Am's and not put ourselves in this situation? But Zain and Spencer got it done, and everything we hoped for. And really, we have 6 potential gold medalists. In my opinion,
Well,
everything has to go right, and they're going to have to wrestle their best and all that. But I'm excited. I think all wrestling fans are excited. No, I'm not a real big freestyle guy, but I am right now. And the Olympics are big.
That's coming up, folks.
Yeah,
that's like a couple months away. We'll make an episode to break down each wrestler's individual chances, but you're telling us you think Spencer has a chance at gold. Zain, does he have a chance at gold?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, he's the world champion for a reason, and could he beat that guy that beat him? Absolutely.
Yes.
But it was like everything's got to go right, and it's a tough thing to do. That's why it's so valuable once you get a gold or any medal for that fact. But I like U.S.'s chances at winning overall, but that ain't going to be easy. But, we'll be talking about 3 months away or something like that?
Something like that. Spencer Lee, Zain Rutherford, Kyle Dake, Aaron Brooks, Kyle Snyder, Mason Paris. You can make the case, folks, that each and every one of them has a chance at gold. I'll say this. Overall, my takeaway, Zain and Spencer, man, did they both just wrestle smart that entire tournament. And you take everything into account. They're in Istanbul, wrestling at 3 a.m. Eastern time, starting Saturday, and to take everything. And then you heard the crowd booing. The crowd was rooting for the guy up against Zain in the third place match. So they're in enemy territory there for both of them to go focus, do their jobs. And they both wrestled very smart. I was proud to be an American, folks. I was proud. I'm proud now, folks. And now we got something to really look forward to. Paris 2024.
Well, for us.
And I love freestyle.
For us, Nittany Lion Wrestling Club guys, we're especially proud of Penn State. And, the thing is, back to this thing with David leaving.
Yep.
And I want to talk about that a couple of things, but first off, I want to go off of a side issue of that. What effect does this have on Iowa? And you think, well, the future recruiting, it might be a major effect on Iowa, where Okie State may overtake Iowa as Penn State's number one threat. Could happen. For instance, the Iowa recent recruiting, let me call Terry right now and ask him about. Let me call Terry right now and ask him about. He can give us the stats on
our Iowa insider,
He
folks.
can give us the stats on.
You're
No, wait. He just texted me. It's going to be 20 minutes or so. He's painting the cement wall at the new dungeon. Let me try. There's Kevin. Let me try him and see if I can get him on here. Just to find out. I can't recall what they're. Kevin.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we're live on the show right now. I was recent recruiting. I know you got the stats. How have they stacked up against the other big teams?
Oh, not good. Not good at all. I mean, since they had a pretty good recruiting class in 2023 there, but since then they've been hurting really bad. In 2023, they had Keeter, Gabe Arnold, Ryder Block, and Peterson, so 4 top 50 guys. But then after that, you're looking like 2025 class. They only have one guy that's in the top 100 right now.
So will they be like top 5 in the recruiting if you evaluating the recruiting classes for this past year or two?
I'd say in 2023, yes. I'd say that's a top 5, but not even close in 2024, 2025. 2025, as of now, I mean, they're not even top 10, and there's only about 30 of the top 100 guys left.
A third.
Okay. Kevin, thank you. You helped me make my point. We'll talk to you soon. Now,
sounds good, Wayne. Thanks.
hey, look, the point I'm making.
What's your point? What's your point?
I guess my real point was I was just poking a little at old Jail.
All right,
I was poking a little bit at old Jail.
Oh.
I wasn't buying that, Zach. I'm sorry. I didn't buy that hook, line, and sinker. Hey, look, it was interesting, and I liked it. And I was watching Chael, and I thought, daggone, you know what? Someone close on his inner circle should have said, Chael, not the UFC, dude. You are a WWE guy. He brought a little WWE to wrestling, and we need that. We need that. Was that WWE stuff?
That was
making a call
certainly
on the line,
funky.
live on the line. I don't
That
know if
was
I
certain-
bought that was all actually live, but didn't you mention that or something?
We asked that question last Friday Night Live, yeah.
But Chael is great, and I
love it.
Yeah, that was great. That was really great.
I just wish
that whole phone call there was a little poking, a little fun. But back to
I get it now.
what?
Oh,
What?
my goodness.
What? What? Okay, yes,
Okay,
back
now I
at
get
the FRL.
it
What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Let me have a little fun, people. Now look.
Oh, man.
Back to Iowa. I say Iowa is gonna be. You can't push down Iowa and Brands. They are. I say.
You heard what Gabe Arnold's dad said
That's
about
right.
Tom Brands.
That's right. And we need all the entertainment we can get, and that's why we like guys like Chael, and we like these coaches that aren't really exciting or anything. Yeah, they're great coaches and all that, but we need the Brands. There's nothing like a little passion that you can see bubbling out, out of their ears. You can see passion coming out of their ears, the Brands.
I saw a lot of happiness coming out of Tom's ears at
Yes,
that
that was
post-Spencer interview.
that was sweet, wasn't it?
But you remind me
happy
of
for Tom.
Yeah,
I was happy
I
for
was
Tom.
genuinely happy for Tom, Spencer, everyone involved. But you do bring up an interesting point, the Dan Gable interview, where he credits a quote unquote great AD for success. Now, I have not heard Tom say quote unquote I have a great AD anytime lately. So I don't know. Have times changed, or is that a parallel?
No, hey, Beth has to settle in over there, calm things down. She had to come in with a storm. and slam her fist down and says, "New sheriff's in town, boys."
We all know. We all been put on notice, dude. We all know. We're all checking.
She's over there
in
patching
Iowa.
up the football team.
Yeah.
She goes over. Tom spanks him around a little bit. I'm in charge now, and I'm just kidding. But
she got everyone in line real quick.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, clearly. Well, I don't know, man. I do appreciate Phil Arnold's comments, though. Him coming out and saying what he said about Tom, because
it gives you an insider look. At
I'll say Tom never really defends himself. He doesn't even acknowledge critics, buffoons, clowns like us talking about him. He's higher than that. Well, he's got way more dignity than that. And then for someone with credibility like Phil Arnold to come out and say something like that, it really shows you behind the scenes.
Exactly. And, for regular fans like me, and, I see a lot of podcast guys out there. They're talking to the big names. That's my guy. That's my guy. And it's like, you know who my guy is, Zach? My guy is no guy, because the only guy I've ever talked to, one time I text with Piles for briefly. That's the only big time wrestling name I've ever, but I like it that way, because you know who my guy is? Kevin and Terry and King. Drama King and Julie.
Wow.
Mike and Marty.
Fans out there,
Marty.
baby.
Mario. David. I could just keep going. Yeah, the average Joe. Nothing average about these people. The average Joe I'm representing the truck driver that likes wrestling. I'm representing the factory worker that likes wrestling. We like wrestling too, and we don't have to be on the inside. So when we get a little taste of it, like Arnold's dad, yeah, that's interesting. Now, we only get these little sniblets of info, and we got to kind of decode them and put them together, and sometimes we're going to be way off. It's almost like us with what's his face looking to transfer out of Michigan. Now I forget his name. Amin. I have no clue. And, we're not in the inside. I'm glad we're not in the inside. I want to try to decode that. Why, or at least give out my guesses on why would you want to leave? But, now it sounds like, daggone, we're starting to get my foot in the door of being a little more insider. Wow. We got a big old Michigan guy. I really like his call.
Well, Michigan guy called Illinois, but yes. Yeah, folks, he will be delivering. We can officially say he's going to be delivering the MVP, most valuable purchaser.
Don't you say Bormet? Don't you say Bormet?
Did I already?
No. Okay.
Because I know better now.
Sometimes you say something wrong so many times, then I start getting it wrong. You've called him Steveson so many times. I started calling him Steveson.
No, I say Steveson.
No, it's Steveson. Steveson.
Okay. Bormet. Trophy is getting delivered.
Bormet.
He's going to get it, and boy, I hope we can get a picture.
That is awesome.
I just hope we can get a picture.
Daggone Marty.
Bormet is watching. Well,
he called in Friday, and Zach, I got to tell you, I enjoyed his call. I really, really did. I like that Swazi, or what? How do you pronounce that?
Sways.
Sways was really good. One of them guys, it wasn't wild about him. It was like a half kook, Greg. Or something, kind of kook.
The guy, he had like a rainbow blanket background. I knew he was a kook. See that?
Get these kooks out of here. Get these kooks out of here.
Well, you're going to get them, man. And, any and all. You got something to add, please call in. But
wow. This Friday thing, I kind of like this. Now, I got to work during this little time, but I can have my phone up on the dash. No, don't tell anybody. Well, actually, I'm not driving down the road. Right now I'm doing jockeying, a lot of backing trailers in and stuff. So you guys can settle down. I'm not putting people in danger out there. I'm in a yard backing trailers, but I got that phone right there watching you guys, and I enjoyed that show, dude. You guys were all critical. You were like, I don't think I did very good. What?
Well, I'm scaling it back 25%.
Where's all these these scales? Where's all these scales?
Back, dude. I don't know. Apparently, I'm all hyped up. They don't like me getting hyped up. I got to scale it back, dude. Okay.
Well, you scale it back on Friday. You keep that energy here on Tuesday, and we'll edit it out. Can't you scale it down 25% with the editing? By the way, you're editing top of the line, top shelf.
Thank you. Yeah.
Top shelf. You take our show, which here's our show. I think, wow, okay, that was pretty good, and then you put your editing to it, and boom, and that's what happens. Yes, and then all of a sudden, I love it.
Yeah, that's one. Oh, hey, how about the integrity skit? I mean, I just thought
that
that
was hilarious.
You know, I went down a 2.5 hour rabbit hole. I lost 2.5 hours because I got that stupid idea in my head, and then just boom, and the next thing I know, gone. But look, folks, let's focus, dude. Let's back to David Taylor. Okay. Let's get back to David Taylor, man, because we really haven't had you on since the hire.
Yes,
so I want to get your full thoughts here. Gilman and Kennedy hired. Vacancy in Penn State. Are you going to apply for the job there at Penn State? I already submitted my application.
Wait, a truck driver? They need the mats trucked somewhere? Yeah, I'll apply. Look, I got to say this. Watch a lot of podcasts and stuff, and a wrestling lover. I love them all. But I got to tell you, I ran into one first time I ever seen it this week, and they talked about this subject, and they brought up very interesting stuff. And that is the podcast, I don't want to get this wrong, Premier National League. It's Mike Mao. We all remember Mike Mao from the Flow days.
Yep.
Always liked Mike Mao. And he was with, I'm sorry, Mike, your guest that was with you when you were talking about the David Taylor. I can't tell you who that is.
We'll put him up on the screen. Everybody knows now. Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't have his name because he was equally very interesting. But a couple points that Mike Mao brought up and this guy brought up that everyone seems to forget is, what's the chances of David Taylor being successful out there at Okie State? Obviously, almost guaranteed. And, with the money now that's behind Okie State, with the coaches that he can't brought in to help him. But let's dig a little deeper and remember, will David Taylor be happy? And you could say, well, I don't care if he's happy. Just win us some dual meets or win us a national title. Look, here's a couple things you got to think about. Okay, his kids were already in school. We got to pull them kids out of school. And then here's this element. Not only are the kids maybe upset, which upsets the wife, then the wife has to move away from mom. I could be way off here. Maybe the mom passed. I don't know. But all I'm saying is if the wife ain't happy, nobody's happy. Now, I might be way out of line by even commenting in them lines, but let's get to what David Taylor loves, the actual wrestling. And from what I understand, I'm no expert here, but head coaches barely have time to be in the room on the mat. And that's what David Taylor does the best. I mean, he's in meetings and he's dealing with media and then he's got the whole recruiting. And that could be fun and all that. I'm not saying that he can't enjoy it, but he probably enjoys being on the mat the most, teaching kids. And he just cut down the amount of time he can actually do that maybe. I don't know. I'm not rooting against David Taylor. Of course, I love David Taylor. And I'm rooting. And does our sport need a real teams race? We need the Iowas and the Okie States. And really anyone that comes can elevate themselves. We need it. Just off of the finals televised numbers this past year. Whew, that was depressing to see him that low. And maybe they're that low because the suspense is gone. Who's going to win this? I don't know. But
well, you bring up an interesting point. Sorry, I was scaling back 25. Listen, okay. Well, you made me. Here's some things that all I'm doing is thinking about this. Okay.
Okay.
And then I thought about this kind of the same way, and it's not the same, but it made me think of the recent event of me making a leap of faith and quitting my corporate America 15-year career to start my own business, okay? Mm-hmm. And there are parallels to this with David Taylor. And let me say this, dude. This is not going to be easy because think about it like this, folks. David Taylor, up to this point, is the guy that everyone tries to contact. He doesn't call people. People call him. He texts people back. Well, that game's changed, okay? Because, in fact, everything has changed. To his responsibilities, no, now he has to be the dude calling recruits on a regular basis, texting people proactively. I hate texting people.
Showing up to their house.
I hate reaching out to people.
Yep.
Like David Taylor's got to transition. That's just one angle. Okay.
Yep.
So now, instead of being the guy that everyone contacts, you got to be the guy contacting everyone. Then you have this whole new coaching staff. And, okay, now you're responsible for the actions of all these other individuals. And now you have to build a real team. Have you built a management team before? Now, you may know how to build a wrestling room, but do you know how to build a management team? Because that is what this is. And, folks, I'm going to put up the picture of David Taylor and the old Cowboy crew walking into town, okay? I'm talking, what was it, Kennedy and Gilman? And I tell you what I see, okay?
Are you putting the picture
down.
up where...
Yep, I broke it down. Yes, and I'll show you all the versions, the funny versions.
That Julie showed us on the Facebook page.
Yep,
that was
Julie
funny
on the
stuff
Facebook page. But, okay, I'm seeing it through the lens of a business. I'm a businessman, man. That's all I know. Been in corporate America 15 years. And building an organization, okay? You need role players, dude. You don't need... What you don't want is too many big egos in the same room. That doesn't... I've rarely seen that lead to success.
It's all got to kind of gel.
So I look down this line of pictures, okay? You got your AD, I believe, on the left, and then it's David Taylor, your front man. And he's got an iron chin. He's ready to face the world.
Yeah.
Check. That looks good, dude, okay, right?
Yeah.
But then, okay, how do you build a team, dude? You can't have all these front men, right? All these. Then Gilman, he's got the cowboy hat on. He's going to kind of be your middleman, dude. You know who's going to determine whether the Oklahoma State Cowboys succeed or not?
What?
It's Kennedy and the next guy hired. Look at Kennedy in that picture. He's got his head down. He's already ready to work because you know what's going to matter? It is what you talked about. They're not on the mat. They have to be recruiting, calling kids, grinding in those fashions. And here's my other point. There's rumors out there about this David Take or Kyle Dake coming. I'm gonna say on the surface, everyone says great hire, right? Great hire. That is where I would draw the line and say, no, David Taylor, you cannot bring Kyle Dake in. From my experience in business, that's where you get too many egos in the room. Because say they do start succeeding or failing, whatever way. You've seen it where people want credit. Big egos want credit, okay? I'm not worried about Kennedy wanting credit. He's proven the fact that he's able to not get the credit, right? Gilman, I'm not so sure, but I'm pretty sure he's going to ride under David's wing. If David brings Kyle Dake in, okay, that is kind of like an equal there all of a sudden. And then you got a credit bound. I don't know. I'm just saying, speaking from a point of business, I think he needs to hire a workhorse, a recruiter, number one, for that remaining position. Anything there?
Well, you got the donators too that you got to appease, and maybe that's not such a big thing if you got one big cash cow like they got. What's his face?
Paycom CEO
Chad Richardson or something. Maybe that's solved with this Chad Richardson, but still, you need all the funds you can get. And I don't even want to get into that angle, the money angle, because I'm worried about what the whole thing does to our sport. But here's a couple things like I learned on the Premier National League. I didn't even think about this. David agreed he was a no, and then on the Monday, all of a sudden, late Monday, he's a yes.
Sunday was a no, Monday was a yes.
That Sunday before was the close of the portal. What you can read from that is him and Cale had very sit down, and he, as much as David admires Cale, and that's obvious, he's not going to want to step on Cale's toes in the first year or two. And maybe Cale said, I don't want any of my guys leaving here. Can you wait till Monday? I'm just speculating. I don't know. But, eventually the pressure is going to be on David to succeed quickly, especially with all the money behind him and all the talk about how great he is. And David is great. And I tell you, his first press conference where he kind of poked a little fun at Kale or just copied Kale. What, do you got a plan also? Or do you got a plan? Let's hear it. That was funny stuff and brilliant. And that kind of little stuff can endear him to people that are trying to decide what school do I want to go to. Little stuff like that is big. All the things, every angle you can get to get a recruit to want to come to your, they want to feel comfortable. And
Yeah, but as a recruit, do I want the knockoff Kale version? Or
Well-
would I rather go to Kale? Or, it's a fine line between, genuine and true and, and then just knockoff brand. You know what I mean? Imitator?
Yeah,
or
but the basic, whatever you want to call secret
Culture.
sauce that Kale has used to build this dynasty, it's not really a Kale thing. It's just basic facts of, if you keep in the present, that term you keep in the present. Hey, don't worry about things and don't put this pressure on yourself. A lot of it just feeds towards you being the best wrestler that you can be. And, you keep hearing the terms. It's just a game. And a lot of the wrestlers don't term it right, But really the point being made is don't put pressure on yourself. Don't turn this into life and death, and because it's not life and death. You know what it is? It's a game. That's what it is. And you got to remember that. Nothing really changed if you go out there and lose. Now, with that said, we all kind of like winning the games we play. Yeah, we like winning the games we play. And that doesn't mean that, anyway.
Well, you bring up an interesting point. Cultures and...
Yeah, and David, it's not like he's stealing from Kale. He's just using basic facts that succeeded for him. He's going to bring to the table for Okie State. And I don't know. It's interesting. It's absolutely interesting, and it's going to be fun to watch unfold. So
we're watching it unfold. Interesting, and in the way that Bashamania, Aaron Brooks, you brought up culture. Are we, for the first time ever, seeing a divide? And clearly we are. In the Penn State locker room, Rome, there's a divide in Rome, folks. Yes, it's official. It's officially confirmed.
No.
Aaron Brooks has not trained with David Taylor for over 2 years. Some other strong things said from
please.
Aaron Brooks.
Okay, at that Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, no one has. Give me an example of where you had multiple guys at the same weight class that had a legitimate chance, and somehow they kept them all in this room, not for a month or two, for quite some time. The fact they pulled off what they pulled off, and I don't know what. I credit this to Kale and the coaches, how they do it. You have to expect there's going to be some sort of little turmoil there. That's the guy I got to beat to get on the Olympic team. The fact that they're in the same room training together is mind-blowing. I mean, and they've done it for so long, you got to give credit where credit due. There's not going to be some sort of disagreements or misunderstandings, and also have the element that, we're still talking about very young people. Now, look how often I, as a 60-year-old, mess up what I'm trying to say. Well, we got to give credit to the young guys, too. They just had an interview, and quite frankly, it didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to term. So, we will take what he said during that little live snapshot, and that's concrete. That's the way it is. No, really way it was is he probably termed it a little incorrectly, and it made it sound like it's something it's not.
Heat of the moment. Yeah. That happens all the time. And you're right. They are absolutely kids. I mean, but Aaron Brooks ain't exactly a kid anymore. Said some other things that were pretty astounding. And regarding the Valencia match, quote unquote, most people are ignorant and biased. Whoa, dude. So what? Ignorant?
What? No, well, they don't. Ignorant means you do not know yet.
Yeah. What?
It's like, let me give you an example. Like, you were ignorant on why I decided to bring these over and give them to your girls. Sugar shots.
No, I'm not
sugar
ignorant.
shots.
No, in fact, I was very well aware. And as soon as I came aware,
I juiced them girls up and got out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Look at this, what you did to me. That used to be black. And you think there's not repercussions for that? Yeah, that's right. I'm bringing sugar shots every time I come to town.
Dude, snatch them up real quick. The kids run around. Where's my candy? Where's my candy, dude? Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, where's my precious? Anyway, look, I want to talk about, can I talk about something? This whole BEG thing, okay, first off, I suggest we get some promo shots now that we have Kevin on board. Me, you, and Kevin. Hey, I was thinking something like this.
If it's that picture you sent me.
That's
no. Yeah, well,
what?
I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, actually, we should. Let's do it. That would be funny, dude.
Can I keep my shirt on? Look, okay, I want to talk about Claw.
The future of wrestling is here. More action, more scoring, more fun to watch. Professional wrestling is here. Claw Wrestling brings modified rules to increase scoring, action, and fan engagement. Just like real wrestling, but with much more excitement. Inaugural season in 2025. But before that, join us this year at the Claw Invitational, taking place on June 22nd and 23rd at Independence High School in Ashburn, Virginia. Tickets on sale now, including limited VIP mat side seats while remaining. Go to WrestleClaw.com now to watch some of the biggest names in wrestling compete, while the biggest personalities call the action.
A little bit.
Okay.
Maybe you.
That's
I
right,
shouldn't
folks.
say this.
Interview coming up this week.
Okay, you can say it. Go
with
ahead.
Tom Howe, the owner, and he runs Claw Wrestling, the paid professional wrestling, folks, starting in 2025, but here coming up June 22nd, 23rd in Arlington, Virginia. Claw is holding an invitational event for a weekend, but folks, we're talking, and Tom had an interview on Intermat.
Yes.
Somewhere between $40,000 to $50,000 per wrestler to wrestle in this league, and at the end of the day, they wrestle maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
Okay.
Days a year.
Average truck driver Joe,
You're trying
wrestling
to get in this
fan.
league.
Average truck driver Joe, wrestling fan, has something to say about this.
Okay. What is it?
Okay, first off, about the Intermat interview. Obviously, Tom Houck has put a lot of, they're very smart people, they're business people, and, he brought up a couple things that just hit you right between the eyes. Why shouldn't wrestling have a professional league? We have tag have a professional league. We got cornhole have a professional league. Why? Boy, that hit you. Boy, did that. Now, I can say cornhole. Well, the cornhole's real popular all across U.S., and that's why they're somehow a professional league. But, daggone, if tag has a professional league, and I like everything that's going on with what he's got, and I think there's some really good minds putting this together. And it's, back in 2002, they had an attempt, and I was pretty certain it was going to succeed to some degree. It didn't. So there is a mountain to climb. There's no doubt. There's a mountain to climb. However, I do like this Tom Houck guy. I don't know him. You know him a little bit. I don't. But it sounds like he's got his head on straight. They got a great game plan. They're putting a product out there that I think is the biggest thing, because, we all have our complaints about freestyle, and have our complaints about folk style. They somehow can't figure out this whole stalling with folk style. Anyway, he's taken the best elements. I think he's got a great product. Here's the part that maybe if you can ask him during the interview, you don't have to, because this could be crazy. Sometimes I say stuff and I realize afterwards that was really dumb. So I might be going down that avenue right now. Look,
okay.
Here's what I think is missing is the teams. He's going to have teams. It's going to be dual match. I think it's big to have duels. I think the teams should be school affiliated. In other words, you have on one bracket, you have the Nittany Lions, Hawkeyes, Wolverines, Buckeyes, Huskers, Badgers, and Fighting Illini. In the other division, you have the Cowboys, Big Red, Sun Devils, Cyclones, Hokies, Wolfpack, and Tigers. Now, 60% of your team has to, say, the Nittany Lions. 60% of that team has to have come from that school, either currently wrestling there or previously wrestling there. They had to be Nittany Lions. You want to bring that school element into it. People get very passionate about their college and their school and their favorite team. And just to have a team of, okay, here's Team Red, here's Team Blue, you're missing out on an opportunity in the sense that you want to bring this passion that's attached to the schools into this. And he's going to need everything he can to overcome this mountain. And all of us, you guys and us, want this to work. And I that's my 2 cents. You could bring it up. You could whatever. You could drop it, never talk about it. But I think, and you say, well, how's that going to work? What if a guy comes from northern Colorado or something? Well, like the Nittany Lions only need 60% of their wrestlers to be from Penn State. They got 40% of buying power. You know, go get a Lirez, go get a Central Michigan.
Maybe state teams. Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania this, the Ohio that.
That's it.
No, I'm just thinking.
I'm just saying, put some power behind the teams. And I like that.
Like a way to represent
I do like that.
I know they have 6
it comes
teams.
to something legally, you can't really do it like my suggestion. The state is big too. That's big too. Somehow get an importance why someone wants to root for this team. I mean, we already love wrestling, and it's just one of them things.
Wow, I'm impressed you thought about that.
Oh,
I mean, there's a couple other things.
What do you think? I'm driving in the truck just going...
staring into space? No, I don't know. I hope not. Well, there's a couple other things, folks, then, and I don't want to say too much because I want Tom to speak for Claw on his own behalf, but the other things that I know are happening, there's going to be fantasy leagues. We all love fantasy sports.
That's big. That's big.
And
yep.
I don't know if it's verified. I think it's going to be verified where their gambling will be.
That's big. Yeah.
Be able to
although, you know, I personally...
I'm not a gambler, but yeah.
I know that's...
I mean, all kids, anyway. we like get on DraftKings or something.
I heard you mention something. Maybe you can't talk about it. You mentioned something about a couple other interviews that you got cooking.
We have other interviews. Well, you asked for Wade Chalice. I believe we're going to have Wade Chalice on.
Definitely look forward. He agreed to come on, didn't he?
Wade did, yeah.
Dude, that guy will blow you away.
He's
a deep thinker over there, that Wade Chalice. And I tell you, sometimes you hear change. You know how people are with change. They like the same thing. It's tough to embrace something drastically different. But when we have Wade and he gives some of his... I want to talk a little bit about his history. But when we get into the element of how can wrestling improve... He's going to, I challenge you to sit on it and think about it, chew on it for a while. Because every time I read his stuff, I think, daggone, that might work. Anyway, any other interviews?
I almost interrupted you. I remember 25% back. Scale it back. 25% back. Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, I think Wade has had conversations and had maybe some influence, if I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. In Claw, but Wade Chow is definitely a knowledgeable wrestling guy with a history that in quite a unique history, as Ty kind of told us.
Oh.
And what he kind of went through. in his college wrestling career, right?
Okay, Wade's going to clarify this, but I'm pretty sure he went out on the mat right before he had 99 pins or something like this. He put a little X on the mat. And I don't know if he'd announced it to everybody or told just the team or what, just his close friends. I'm going to get my 100th pin on that X. And he pulled it off. He pulled it off. Now, we got to ask him about that. Anyway.
That along with, I believe back in his day, he was D2 and the winner D2. National championship was allowed in D1, and I think there was a year he won both.
Yeah, he won at Clarion. He won from D2, and Clarion. Once you win D2 back then, you can wrestle in D1, and then he went and won D1. So yeah,
so you know he's got some stories coming.
Some other guys. I don't know if you've been trying to get. I hate bringing up a name without getting clearance. You might have to edit this out. Maybe
I don't
not.
like bringing up names without clearance. Don't do it. I don't want to put pressure on him, but I'll say this, folks.
Can you get the brain of college wrestling sometime, or at least try? Jason Bryant. Jason Bryant, the voice and the brain. I'm hearing. He's the voice that we hear over the loudspeaker at nationals and everything. Jason Bryant. I've heard. There's stuff I need to learn yet. There's too much to know. Anyway, and our buddies over at Clash of Combats.
I'm trying to get them on, too. I'd love to have them on, too.
I would, too. I actually have a whole bunch of interesting questions for them Clash boys. You know, they're very good at doing their interviews. I got to give it to them. And I tell you the other, I just mentioned Mike Mal's podcast, the Premier National League. I'd like to talk to Mike Mal.
Wow, last week you said Wade Chalice, you got Wade Chalice, and now you're just going to run through your dream list here?
Time out. Time out. Then I got the thing, I don't want to meet people because I like bragging about the fact I've never met a big name. And all these are big names.
We're going to make it happen, folks. We're going to make it happen. And there's a lot of reasons.
Hey, you know, I pretended like I called Terry. Terry's our Iowa guy, and you talk about quality post on Facebook. Join us on Facebook. We got numerous posters that are very knowledgeable, and that's coming from a guy that's been reading wrestling Facebook. I'm telling you, my judgment's not off here. BEG's Facebook page is quality. I'm just going to say it. That sounds...
Some people have said it's a little Penn State heavy.
Anyway, Terry's on there, and I'll tell you, Terry mentioned, you know, that the chatter over there on the Iowa boards, and I've said this all along, this whole Gable Steveson, let me just tell you, folks, he will be back for that last year, and that
to college.
Oh,
at Iowa,
and he's going to end up at Iowa.
Hot dog, baby.
End up at Iowa, but I don't know if that helps Iowa a whole bunch. Here they got this Keeter. Get out of here. Get out of here. Of course, it'll help him some because do I think Keeter could go win a title? No, but Keeter showed that he's, you know, and I don't know what's going on with Keeter, whether he's going to do the football. There's talk there. I think Terry even mentioned that I don't know how long that double football and wrestling thing's going to last. That might not last a whole long time. That's just too much. That's all be honest here. But
in today's world, not likely. But we don't know Ben Keeter. In that picture, he looked like a dog.
Oh,
him and AJ, and they're hanging out for some reason. They ain't gonna be playing on the football team together.
And pump you up. Look, hey, yeah, I think you know, and who knows? I've daggone. Chael showed us. He spontaneously thought about making that phone call, and we got to see a side of AJ. Can you imagine? AJ had no clue that call was coming in, and it turns out AJ's a nice guy.
Like the nicest guy I ever heard in my life. I wish he would have been a little more edgy on that call.
Okay, all right, where's that? No.
Carter who? Carter what? I see his goal, baby.
You know.
Shout out Jordan Burroughs.
You can't have it both ways. You want things to be a little more edgy, a little more WWE. Let's get some attention to the wrestling. And then we have a Carter or a Brooks or something that flares up a little bit and everybody says, oh, Look, he's that's wrong. That's wrong. Let's bring some personalities into this.
Well, we got personalities coming. I mean, could you imagine if it's Carter versus AJ?
Yes.
And then Kirk versus Gable?
Yeah.
Maybe they go crazy and get a Liraz or something.
Oh.
No, not a Liraz.
I'm telling you, we're not a
Liraz.
I was going to make some noise here soon. And we don't know what's going on.
We're going to have to do lineup breaks down. We got a lot of things to talk about.
Okie State may just blow us away. They might run the table and get all these big studs sitting in the portal. But, you know, I hate even bringing this up. I don't even want to say the words. You know, you hear when you read on these boards, hey, maybe Levi will go over there. Levi is loves David. He's grew up learning from David and all that stuff. And how about Kazak? That's two of David's boys, Levi and Kazak. I think they're going to go to Okie State. Whoa. Let's not get crazy now.
That wouldn't be the craziest thing.
Look.
But I'll say to your point though, I'll say this, man. It's not going to be that easy for David Taylor. Proximity to success doesn't translate to success. And here's one thing a fact that's going to happen to David Taylor. He's going to go through a moment of like where he's overwhelmed. He's going to get overwhelmed in a moment, and he's going to think to himself, I mean, this happens to everyone in any new job you ever have. Well, you have a moment where you think, I can't do this, dude. I should not have done this. And he's going to have to be careful that he keeps himself in the right headspace. Now, he
reminds me of you a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, you got to manipulate your own headspace a lot of times to make sure you stay positive.
You got to have a big set, too, to make such a drastic change. I notice you'll take on things. And, you know, every indicator says, I want to come over and say, Zach, no, son, that's going to fail. Now,
no, you do say it, though. You do say it.
You proved me wrong a couple times, and shut me up. Well,
I hope David has a little bit of the delusional optimism that I have because, and I'll just simply correlate it to us starting this. If I knew back then what I know now.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty fearless guy.
Yeah.
If I knew everything I had to go through for us to get to this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have started back then. But I was just naive.
You know,
naively optimistic, and I think obviously David is a smart guy, and he's optimistic and positive, regardless of whatever Brooks is saying about him. But I mean, he's gonna have to keep himself in that headspace. I'm telling you, dude, you have to do mental tricks to keep yourself in a positive headspace, dude. When you're in that overwhelming and so many new things around you, coaches, you got Paycom CEO calling you, you got recruits that you got to call, you got coaches who maybe they went crazy at the bar last night and now they got problems. I'm telling you. There's so many angles.
Yep. Sacrifices from a lot of different people. The wife, she's going to have to sacrifice.
The family.
There's all kinds
the baby.
And let's be honest. What's more beautiful? Northern Pennsylvania or Oklahoma? And nothing against Oklahoma. What isn't it just flat? Isn't it a desert? Or what the heck's going on out there?
We're talking Midwest United States of America.
Yeah, it's
right. I think my geography got heavily criticized last episode. I said Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
it's Northwest. I'm sorry, I'm off by like 5 miles, dude. Get out! Come on.
Greg ride you on that.
Greg wrote me on that. Yeah, comments wrote me on that. But hey. On that note, folks, I don't know if you're just figuring out about wrestling. I do top 4 reasons to buy wrestling stock right now. Olympics, folks, we have all 6 qualified for first time since 2016.
Let's go.
We are fully representing. Money's coming into the sport. We got a billionaire at Oklahoma State coming in. Money brings, everything comes. I'm telling you, if one does it, wait until another big donor comes out of the woodworks at another university. Media coverage better than ever. I mean, come on. Flo's raising their game. Matt Scouts, Bosch, us, we're all raising our game together, all for the betterment, at the end of the day, for the sport.
That's true.
And then professional wrestling in 2025, folks. 4 reasons. You buy the stock. I buy stocks. I do option trading. You know that?
Yeah.
Day trades. Sometimes I buy a stock, sell it, a put, call.
I'm very, very interested
5 minutes.
in your interview with Houck because, of course, we're rooting for that one. And all them other things, I agree. I absolutely agree. The money part, I won't even get into that. I just wish it was more spread around. And here I am, Penn State fan. You know, their big cash cow is kind of like a big dog, too. I don't know, billionaire. We're just talking a level that I don't even understand.
He's a billionaire, yeah, I think so.
And you know, obviously, Okie State now has one. It used to be said, well, Penn State, money-wise, is like 2-3 times ahead of their second place. Not the case anymore.
Arms
now,
race.
I would have loved for this Richardson. I would have loved for him to put the money into, you know, a claw or something that just elevates the sport. But I'm with you. I understand.
That day's coming.
Just him elevating Okie State is going to bring, you know, you get that whole rivalry going.
It's just another domino.
I want to see Iowa. They're busy building dungeons, or hopefully they're done. Here's the thing I wanted to bring up, and I won't make this quick. Part of the thing on Premier National League with Mike Mao that they got into that scared me tremendously was they were starting to talk about RTCs that they're going to be closing. It's kind of a done deal. They're going to be closing. Now, don't quote me on this, folks. I could be wrong. I could have swore I heard what were the 2, Nebraska, Ohio State. If you have RTCs like that closing, you're going to be having RTCs all over the place closing. The thing is, they need this money for now the NIL, which is it NIL? Where's all these kids on these commercials? Right? NIL. No, we're just giving you money to come over to our school. Anyway, I won't get started on that. I will say this. It's concerning to me that the RTCs are closing. What does that mean? That we'll have an Olympic Training Center? Oh, we already have one of them. It's in State College. What, 4 of our 6? 4 of our 6 are at the NL or Nittany Lion Wrestling Club.
That's a strong showing.
That's a strong showing.
Maybe a last hurrah.
Anyway.
4 years from now, things may change. I don't know. Hey, listen, folks. We got interviews coming up. We got Friday Live this Friday. I got some other ideas that we have coming up, but I don't want to mention them. You know what I mean?
All right.
You know what I mean? But anything else?
Going.
Iowa State, they're not getting a new wrestling facility. Any thoughts there? Shut down. Iowa gets a new one with. Hey, by the way, Carter wins gold. Are they gonna paint a gold medal on top of the uniforms on that bird?
Oh, you mean the bird, Spencer's trophy?
Spencer's bird.
Or Spencer's statue?
Spencer's bird, yeah.
Oh.
They're going to have to slap another paint job on that thing, a gold medal around his neck.
Daggable Bird Boy might just win this.
He might. Oh, my goodness.
Daggone
Spencer Lee.
Could you at least replace the bird head with Spencer's head at that point? If the man wins Olympic gold, can we get rid of the bird head already?
Come on,
whose idea is who's making decisions over there?
If Spencer wins gold, we're starting to GoFundMe to put Spencer's head on that bird. Get his head on that bird. Get out of here with that bird. Come on, dude. I don't got anything else. You got anything else, dude?
No, I'm
Join us Friday, folks. We got interviews dropping. This is BEG Wrestling. Until next time, like and subscribe. We only got 15%, dude. Let's get that up. Thanks again, folks.
See you guys.